Blasphemy law. We don't have any blasphemy laws in the UK. We used to have. There were things, as I understand it, that were, it would have been against the rule book if somebody cursed in the name of the prophet or something of that nature. I think some people took a dim view of that. I feel vaguely uncomfortable when people curse, using JC as their go-to way to illuminate their disquiet about something. A little bit. I don't know why. It's not really based on any kind of spiritual or religious dimension on my part. But so I understand that you want to be decent and respectful of people's thoughts and beliefs. So that would apply to anything, wouldn't it? If somebody's got a different view to you, I don't want to smack them in the head because they happen to have a different opinion on how to solve the NHS or something. But I would quite like to have as much wiggle room as possible to illustrate what I think on something. And if you can't, I mean, particularly with religion, for goodness sake, there's a good reason why Monty Python and others have satirised this stuff for decades, because it's absolutely ripe for a lampooning and a questioning. Remember, we're talking about a belief system, whatever the belief is. And this, by the way, was the Labour MP, Tahir Ali, is the MP for Birmingham Hall Green. Moseley, he urged action on this. He said he caution after acts of mindless desecration risks fueling division and hatred within society. So he used Prime Minister's question time to ask Keir Starmer if he would bring in measures to prohibit the desecration of all religious texts and the prophets of the Abrahamic faiths. So that would be Judaism, Islam, Christianity. Stand to be corrected on the fine detail. The PM replied the desecration was awful and should be condemned by all MPs. But he didn't say, no, we are the 21st century. We're not going to rule out a blasphemy. He didn't say any of that stuff. Following the exchanges, Mr Ali was accused by Tories of promoting the reintroduction of blasphemy laws. These disappeared, as I was saying, back in 2008, although not in Scotland until 2021. I don't think they were utilised very much in that time. But I'm going to ask the question, would you support blasphemy laws? Because there is a world of difference between, if you cannot lampoon... We know people have died in recent times. I'm thinking of Paris. I'm thinking also of the Batley school teacher who dared to re-show the cartoon imagery of the Prophet Muhammad, and all hell broke loose. And this poor fella's in hiding along with his family and will be for the rest of his life. Because apparently, according to some half-wits, you're not allowed to do that. Well, you are allowed to do that. But feeling is so strong that this MP, Mr Ali, would, I'm pretty sure, welcome that teacher going to jail for this. By definition of what he said, he would regard that to be an act of mindless desecration. And he mentions in his speech that he thinks that blasphemy laws should be in place, and in part that is because of desecration of religious texts and prophets. So I think Mr Ali would quite happily have the Batley school teacher in jail for this. And there would be other examples. I mean, Christianity, let's be honest, gets an absolute lampooning. Even, I noticed I'm a Celebrity. The Reverend Richard Coles is in I'm a Celebrity at the moment in the jungle. You might not have known that, but he is. And that's allowed Anton Deck to a bit of a free rein, to have a gentle lampooning at the man of the cloth and his faith. Now, I'm all right with that. It's kind of just goes with the... We're talking about religion here. We're talking about... It's like thinking of a government in many respects. The very essence of what holds life together, our journey, how we got here, where we're meant to go. And if you can't take the mick out of that, I don't know what you can have a pop at. It should almost be encouraged in schools. Look, this is a thing called religion. Some people of whatever faith absolutely live their life by this to the letter of the law, and you should respect that. However, there is really no proof of any of this, and until there is, then it's going to be up for a bit of satire, a bit of gentle lampooning. You don't go round somebody's house, knock on the door and say, you're a freak, you should be burnt for being an evangelical Christian or a Muslim or a Jew. You don't do that, but that's not what this is about. That would be, a crime in itself. So would you... I'm going to ask this, because there will be people listening to this who feel very strongly about their faith. Would you support blasphemy laws in the UK? 0344 499 1000. And just to sort of bolt onto that, let's just talk around this idea of, you know, free speech and what you're allowed to do. And again, of all areas where free speech should be actively as mobile and as animated as it can be, surely it would be around the issue of how we got here as humans, what we're all about, what's our identity, what's our purpose, what is it? What are our responsibilities? What is a spiritual dimension? All of that stuff. So talk me through this from your side, if you would. 0344 499 1000. If you are religious, if that's the right way to look at it, and you feel strongly about somebody insulting your religion, just put some meat on the bones, if you can, as to why that is a crime akin to second-degree murder.